Kind of getting some stuff organized here. Festivus. That is marketing, I guess. What's everybody doing? So, little update on the. I know there was a interruption yesterday. I had to take a break because there was concern over a lost kitty. I basically was supposed to go rescue. So, the kitty. We're getting arranged. I get it. Are you having a good weekend? It's almost over. I feel like it just started. That's not how it goes when you have like kids. A kid in a newborn. It's not even like a kid yet. The origin of the word kid is from like what would you call it? Like it's a baby goat, I believe. Last thing I would use to describe a human kid. But what do I know? I'm just barely getting into the gist of the procreation process. So it is what it is. Procreation process. So it is what it is. Procreation process. So it is what it is. Yeah. Any hoozles. So the cat. Yeah. I made it. Any hoozles. On the cat again. So the cat. I made it. Any hoozles. On the cat again. So the cat. There's the kitty. Any hoozles. On the cat again. So the cat. Get it out alive. I took it to the get it out alive box. I took it to the place. Get it out alive. Probably about like 3 hours. The place. Get it out alive. Probably about. Came out. Like 3 hours. Place. It up. Get it out alive. Survived. So everybody wins. Like 3 hours. Place. It up. Survived. So everybody wins. Process of it up. Explaining death to my 3.5-year-old again. We lost our first kid. Explaining death to my 3.5-year-old again. I lost my dog of 18. Lost our first kid. Explaining death to my 3.5-year-old again. I lost my dog of 18. Go through the first kid grieving process. 3.5-year-old buddy every few months. Lost my dog. I have to explain to her grieving process. 3.5-year-old buddy every few months. Lost my dog. I have to explain to her grieving process. Well, I'll STFU. You can get started. Well, in this marketing STFU. Get Canva ready to go. Well, in this marketing STFU. Oh, get Canva ready to go. Well, in this marketing STFU. Oh, audio. Canva ready to go. Audio. Well, in this marketing STFU. Oh, audio. Canva ready to go. There we go. Just trying to be inclusive. Have all the chats going. Check, 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 check. I feel like this could be louder. Check, 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 check. There we go. Problem is with this microphone is that everything drops off so quickly. Okay. Say lovey. So, yesterday, part 1, part 2, we were here. Feeling pretty good about the stuff that was happening here. I liked it. I felt good. Brought this little mountainous area in there. This one was feeling kind of funky with this extra thing in there. I didn't want to get too crazy with what I would add or take away from there because it did also happen in the top. I suppose. Look at that shot. So if I got a bridge here, I looked at that shot. So you can see proof of the, is it there? Car shoot. Other cars in the shot. From my life. All right. Oh, that looks cool though. I didn't forget about. I had this one. They give you a sense of the clouds coming over, but it's just I don't know. Probably the light sucks. That's why I didn't use it. It is right. All right. So I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to basically kind of spruce up for this shindigus. I think the dog just grabbed his pants. Anyways, left another ball of wax here. Let me see if any of these. This one's kind of got like a super duper awesome flair to it. This could probably get some motion added to it. That's kind of one of the heroes I want to use for us. So we'll go to InDesign here and we'll go to the actual Instagram layouts. Instagram. All right. Start pulling out the images for this layout. How's everybody doing today? Good. Great. Solid. All right. And so people got to tell me, what 3D program do you use? I'm not using 3D for this one, but normally I use 3ds Max and V-Ray for my render. And then when I'm building from scratch, I usually use Blender just because it's so easy to just, it's where I started, so I know it so well. That's kind of why that's its thing. Wrong one. Enter rejects. I mean, if you're looking to get started in CG, I feel like Blender is definitely the place to start to see if you want to do that. No, like I have Maya, but I've never touched it because it's part of the package. Like when you sign up for the whole Autodesk thingamajig. See InDesign here. Cool, the chat's showing up too, which is also delicious. Things are wonderful. Everybody can see what everybody's saying here. Just move something. All right. I'm gonna get back to it here. Or used. I liked this shot here. It totally works. Oh, look at that, dude. We might have to throw some flowers in there and see. We'll have to think about that for a minute. Take this rotation out. You do CG stuff? O10. Started learning 3D this year. Is it a good career choice? So funny you ask. I'm actually going to go back to this. So this right here, this stuff right here, all this Porsche stuff, this was all done, shot photo real, and I dropped, I'd say 90% of the poppies into these photos. So all this stuff has CGI in it. I believe there was 27 images that I ended up doing in a week and a half. So with that said, have I made money doing CG? I did one job for CG, and it was making backgrounds in a room. Yeah, for sure. You could totally send links. I am totally open to checking people's stuff out. So, but basically, this was something I wanted to do on this job to kind of show proof of concept for usage of CG. But for the most part, all of the CG stuff that I've done, dude, you know what? Is this guy ArtStation? Yeah, I think this guy is also on. I'll pull this up here. So this is Edon. So this is, it's funny. I love robot CG. Like it's just so clean and sexy. I love all the little details and stuff like that. I actually have a thing. I don't know if you're familiar with the guy who originally started doing this stuff, not in CG, Hashime Sorayama. Did a lot of stuff in the 80s. This was his airbrushing style. This stuff's super cool. But yeah, this stuff's cool. It depends on what you want to do and how you get in there. I mean, of course, I feel like the more we get into the future, the more CG there will be. Like there was an article the other day that somebody sent me about somebody who had gotten into product photography and was realizing that basically product photography is kind of done because CG has become so accessible. And the college that I went to, Art Center College of Design, yeah, I mean, I make a living as a photographer. That's my primary source of income. That retouching composite art, it's funny. Sometimes you don't know, and a big job will come around, and next thing you know, I'm retouching somebody else's stuff, which is fine. I don't, I I have no ego. I don't need one. My ego doesn't feed the babies. They don't care where the money comes from. So, and I just like to work on cool shit. So, yeah. Speaking of cool stuff, I could pull up. So this isn't CG, but it's I worked on. I have to go to my archive here. But basically, uh, there's a. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's in a story. It's a story. Gallery Nightshade. Is Nike in here? Oh, Nike campaign. There it is. This stuff. This was a cool composite gig I got for a company called Doubleday and Cartwright. So they yeah. So you've just finished your college degree. I would say you're looking at look look for the people and the artists that you enjoy working for, or that you not enjoy working for, that you love, and reach out to them about being a mentor or an intern or stuff like that. Like I can't tell you. There's a kid who reached out to me once, and I've used him on almost every single gig I've had, almost since I've met him, and I've helped him out with his portfolio and stuff like that in exchange for sometimes for work and stuff like that. So it really kind of it's all part and parcel to the whole genie gig, I guess. Um, Aladdin quotes all day long. So that's that. It's um, I would say hola, Lani. I'm gonna mess up everybody's name. So basically, find people you like, work you love, learn from them, reach out to them, contact them, try and figure out how to intern them for them, or even for companies that you like, and then try and get in that way. That's really the only way, whether you have a college degree or not. If you want to get into this stuff and you're you haven't gone to college, develop a portfolio. Um, so yeah, so develop a portfolio, start creating content with your, whatever time you have, and you got to do a job or whatever to pay for stuff, or, who knows what. But basically, create content, get it out there, develop an audience, and start reaching out to people that you want to work for or compete with, and then the rest is history, right? So this is actually a job I got. Again, my core competency is composite art. So this was I did all the still images for this particular campaign where they had blended. I can't go to the links here. Where I'd done the still section of this split screen campaign for Nike, which was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done. This agency in particular, is pretty dope. Let me if I can pull them up here. Day and Cartwright. These guys are phenomenal. It's funny. So I did the composite art. So I illustrated these mountains for this shot, and did all the retouching on all these images, the BTS photos and the hero images for this Canada Goose campaign that was done with Soleil Bembury. I'm not very familiar with him. Apparently, very popular dude. But basically, the guy had done stop motion stuff, and they reached out to me to do all the composite with the background images and put it all together. Hey, Maya's amazing, man. Yeah, so it's just a matter of doing the work and getting out there and just being eager to want to do this stuff. It's really what it comes down to. So this is another one of those images. Yeah, so I did all the retouching for all this stuff. And it was just a matter of, most of these images were good to go. It was a matter of kind of just finessing some of the edges to get things to line up. But, I don't know that I'd ever be able to get approval from Nike to be able to show how these were made. Like, this was a freaking nightmare, this thing. Jesus Christ. I would say we probably went through 30 rounds easy to put this together. So the way I got into 3D is that, so I've spent my entire career, for lack of a better term, I've spent my entire career basically shooting what I was hired to shoot, right? Um, a lot of that being car advertising. It's been a long time doing what I'd been getting hired to do. We can go to my page here. And basically, this was the gist of everything that I'd been hired to do. Most of the stuff you see here. A lot of Toyota stuff, some Lexus stuff was stuff I wanted to shoot for proof of concept. Lots of Toyota stuff. And then it got to the point where right after the pandemic, a lot of my clients had basically retired, right? They decided to quit and go off and do stuff that they wanted to do, or whatever deal that they had with their with the places they were working at. So I had a lot of sweat equity in all these clients. Thanks, appreciate it. And then out of nowhere, basically, they all retired all at the same time. I'm trying to think. I think there was, one person, two, like a handful of people that were left over, but nothing that I could really rely on for more work. So it kind of push came to shove, and it was like, do I want to continue shooting what I think people want me to see, or do I want to shoot what I want to do? And for me, I have a lot of ideas for things that I want to do. I'm trying to think if I have any examples. Let me see if I can pull something. Basically, there's a bunch of stuff that I've wanted to do, and CG was going to allow me to do it. I think this is part of, there's 4 in here. But basically, so this is one of the ideas where I wanted to create this world where basically you have like these mechanical flamingos that were made out of metal, which I'm still working on. These Iceland-style mountains, and then you'd have like this riverish lake that was made out of pink liquid, or that was maybe there's ice on top with steam, and you had pink liquid running over the black lava rock underneath, kind of like something you'd see in Iceland, I guess. So this is stuff that I've wanted to do, and I kind of blocked out first, and then decided to just take the liberty of learning CGI, and started that in January, and been on my journey ever since. But for the most part, it's kind of just been a process. I'm still learning. I live learn on here all the time with new stuff that I want to do that hasn't been done yet. For me, and it's a matter of just spending the time that I want to be able to create the content that I want to eventually get hired for, if that's what I want to do. The other part is I've been doing this for so long that I kind of like I'm over the killing myself to you can spend weeks trying to bid on a job and create photo treatments to then lose to some guy who decided to, or girl who decided to just underbid you because they want the job and don't care about the content. Where I've already been in a place where I'm doing what I can to get the job at the cheapest amount possible, but deliver the best product. Like I have limits for stuff I'll do and what I won't do. That's a big part of what I get, why I'm in this industry, and that I don't want to work for a certain amount of money, and I have limits, and I won't do that. So, do I lose a lot of bids? Yes, I think everybody does. Do I have a reputation for being expensive? Yes, but there's jobs that I end up bidding on. Like I had a job last week where we started out at like, I can't see who the client was. This perspective, I would say it's a startup that has a new innovative product that they wanted to launch And they wanted to give me what, like 10-15% up front, and then the rest after their second round of funding and fundraising. And I was like, I'm out. Not going to do that, because we eventually we had scheduled the shoot on, on a Tuesday, and it was over the Memorial Day weekend, and then it got moved to a Wednesday, and then it was, oh, you know what, it'll probably end up being, and then I was like, at that point, after we had kind of come down from my initial bid, uh, basically they were looking to get, 4 final images high res, and then a bunch of motion. So I would shoot 4K on DSLRs and DSLRs and mirrorless Canon cameras, the R5, and then basically take that stuff and create a video like a 60-second video, and then get a bunch of final images. And I'd gotten to the point where I was like, we started at like basically on like a big job where there's advertising involved, and if I'm solo doing that with a small group, you're looking at anywhere from, and I mean, like on the low side for a day of that type of stuff, you're looking at anywhere from like 12.5 to 30K a day for the minimum. Like on a big job, we are looking at, when I bid on something like this, where there was motion and stills, we were looking at, I think our budget was like 90K for one day with, a multi-person team. But if it was just me, it was probably anywhere between 15 and 30K. And this job, it basically kind of, it got to a point where it was like, oh, well, they don't need a bunch of stuff. They just want drone, which I could do, Steadicam, which I could do, and then stills. So it was basically 3 cameras, or 2 cameras, a drone, a gimbal, all this stuff, me solo for basically half a day, which I was basically going to charge about, I think it was 12. Okay, but with the discount, it ended up being like 9. And then it was, originally it was like a 90-second video. So then I was like, well, we'll cut back down to, I think it's important that you guys know how much stuff costs and how much people are charging, because you should be charging a certain amount for a certain type of content. And if you're not, then you're effing all of us, just so you know. And then it had gotten down to, they basically wanted to spend like $5,500. And then I was like, all right, well, I can shoot the motion on my iPhone with a gimbal. I can shoot the stills on my R5, and I'll still bring the drone, but that's it. You get a 60-second video with 2 rounds of revisions and 4 shots, and that's it. And then it got kind of funky with the scheduling, and then I said, I'm out. Got as low as I can go. At that point, because what's going on, right? So at that point, I'm sacrificing quality for price, right? I'm going to deliver a crappier product, so that way they could get the least amount of money spent possible. And what happens? It's a cluster F, right? It's a brand new product, so that basically is going to probably need some retouching is going to happen, or something's not going to be ready, or it's not going to work, right? So then you're going to have to trip over all that stuff just to get something. And then, so the ask then becomes unattainable, and then you're basically, kind of effing yourself in terms of being able to deliver something that you want to be 100% okay with putting your name on. So the way that you learn pricing is, 1, by working for other people, and then 2 is producers. Producers are king when it comes to how much stuff costs. I constantly recommend people reach out to producers, connect with producers, have producers in your wheelhouse. If you have a bigger job coming up, have the producer help you bid on it. Have the producer do the bidding for you. If you're not used to producing or having any experience doing that before, because producers are literally the bread and butter life that keep all this stuff moving, because they know how much things cost. And the last thing you want to do is underbid yourself, because then you get people who don't know what they're doing out there. And here's the problem: the price of what we do is coming down, and inflation is going up. And next thing you know, no one's going to be able to afford what we do. And you're going to end up with a handful of people-ish, like now, who are basically doing all of the work for the expensive prices, because everybody's kind of priced themselves out of being able to do this stuff. And then, people don't make it through the pandemic, and, they end up getting a full-time job somewhere rather than doing what they love. So ask people, reach out, question everything. That's it. I'm glad we sat here and talked about this stuff because literally I realized there's a few things I want to change in this layout here now. Because I've got this and this. Oops. This shot and this shot are kind of like this one. I'm going to find something else to put in there. So pricing just kind of came with the way that you're asking about how I learned about pricing. The way that I learned was so you kind of start out with smaller jobs, right? Like little independent individual people that are looking for content. And you don't have to worry so much about your pricing then as you do once you get up to the agency level. And then you have producers bidding out your stuff. And then you kind of figure out, well, and then, I've had, I don't know, two or three reps. I can't remember. I think two. Then kind of what they're saying is the minimum that you should work for per day. On like ad jobs, you're looking at big advertising gigs. You're looking at anywhere from just for your day rate, 5K at the very least to upwards of I don't know. I think 8,500 is on the high end of what some of the higher end photographers get. That I'm guessing. So, yeah, that's how I learned. So the last thing you want to do is underprice yourself. And then there's stuff that I just don't want to like. There's jobs I've gotten that I've tried to price myself out of and could not. There's people with endless budgets, like famous musicians who have fashion lines who could care less how much stuff costs. Decide to they just want to spend the money. And then you kind of don't care, and then you just have really cool stories about them, but you can't talk about because you're under NDA. So we'll say nothing. Let me check out your work here. We'll look at it later. For sure. By the way, if you're a subscriber on Behance, I will happily give you, verbal feedback and tips on things anytime. So, not crazy, because then we get into the start charging phase of this project. But yeah, if you ever need any advice on stuff and you're a subscriber, always reach out. I'll gladly text you, message you, send you my feedback. It's part of the greatest thing about $7 a month that I ask people to pay. So I was looking for another shot for this layout here. And just so you know, I do stuff like this for other photographers. I do lay out portfolios and stories and help them out with jobs and pre-pro photo decks and treatments and all that other stuff. So I'm always available, not always inexpensive. So, but hey, sometimes you gotta spend money to make money, right? All right, we're just gonna go under here. I don't like the display thing-ish. Control D. Go in here. Was the heads-up display here? This is kind of cool. So this thing is the hey man, you guys got it. Anytime you guys want anything, this is why I'm in this stuff, because I love this. I love doing this stuff. I'm here because I think not information should be free, but people should have access to information and people that do this stuff. Like, there's so many people in my industry who think what they do is a big giant secret because everybody's afraid of losing work and clients to other people. And, yeah, that's a thing, but I'm not concerned about it because what I do, a big part of what I do is creative. I do a lot of what I do. Screen mode, preview, display performance, highest quality, always highest quality. None of this crap. I guess this is. So yeah, it's I do what I do. I'm a problem solver. It's part of my thing, and that's if someone wants to hire me to do that, then it's usually part of what they're paying for. There's that. That doesn't seem to. This here seems redundant to me. But the only thing is, I think that when I make this, I normally have a. These are gonna go like. That's gonna go like that. One of these is gonna get chucked. Basically, I think. We'll do this. I know this won't end up getting used. I don't think it will be. I'll take this off to the side here. Take this one, put this in there. There we go. Because basically, well, I may have screwed that up. There's usually a cover on here. One of these I don't need. So we'll kill. This to me is the least attractive one. Take this one out. Basically, I need a cover image for these. So I'm going to slide this. These other ones not compelling. No. Figure out how to get this out of here without losing the whole layout. So I'm going to take this. I usually use the solid image as the whole. How this got messed up. There we go. Sorry, guys. Just figuring out why I moved all this stuff. Thanks, appreciate it. So these were captured on the top of what would you call it? Near Cleghorn. Actually, some of these were at Cleghorn, and the other ones were above. Describe that. Were shot above Silverwood Lake by Highway 133. So, like this whole thing here is just going to get dumped, but I'll just bring it in here anyway. So if something had to go, it would be this last part. But now I like the flow of all this. So yeah, shot for car and driver. There was a 2-car shoot, as you can kind of see in this particular shot. We shot the, well, I'll just show you the Jeep stuff. Oh, JPEGs. This is, so we shot the Jeep Trail Hawk on the area just above Silverwood Lake. And then on the same day, shot the Land Rover Defender in the same area for Car and Driver magazine. It was initially, the job was a 3-day shoot. You drive the car and get out to take the shots. So yeah, so basically what we had, let's see, my assistant met me up there. I drove up there. I met the writer of the article at his house. We then took the Defender and the Jeep up to Cleghorn, which is kind of near Big Bear. We went up there to go shoot these. Had my assistant park his car up there. We went and drove around, just the 3 of us. Yeah, and the rest is history. So did I get to drive them? Yes, I drove the Jeep there and then drove the Defender back. And I must say, the ride difference is phenomenal. I literally, the Defender was this. Okay, so again, the price point here, I believe. Let me pull up the stories. Let me see here. I have the car and driver. See this here. Oh, this is funny. So there's, let's see, stories, reviews. I get kicked off the front page. Damn it. Totally fine with that. Get booted all the time. Story of my life. All right, so we got the Defender. Oh, and the Jeep Trailhawks right here. So this one, does it tell you the price? Let's see here. $56,000. Don't be surprised. This car starts at a lovely It's gotta be here somewhere. He doesn't mention it yet. All it does not come cheap. With the Defender 980, Defender 90 V8 opening at 106,000. So we had the Carpathian edition, which was 113,500. So base price. The one we tested was 113,000, and this one was basically 56. Tested 65. So double the price of this one. And man, you certainly felt it. That was a cushy freaking ride, man. That thing was creme de la creme. I felt like somebody could have handed me caviar from over the shoulder and would have been delight. I felt like there was literally a butler in the back seat. It was totally worth it. I mean, the steering wheel had like, it was like felt or something. Not felt. Of course, felt would be crap. Suede. It was suede. Just so cushy. The ride was just nice and like, whereas like the Jeep, I felt like I was being like whipped around. It's funny. I remember getting on the radio that we had, and I was like, "Does your car feel like it's trying to kill you?" And he was like, "You know what? Let's trade cars because I should probably know what this one rides like on four wheel because he's running an article on it, even though his testing wasn't about the location that we were at. He was doing separate testing. So, and then he got in it and he got on the radio and he's like, "Something's wrong with the vehicle. You're paying $30K Honda Civic Sport payment. Can't imagine $100K." Yeah, it's a thing, all right. With that said, guys, I'm going to be right back. And we're back. Thanks for being patient. All right. On to the layouts. All right. So I liked these. How do they reject? The rejects ended up being something I liked here. This one. I want to add more motion to that. Center that. Take the rotation. Oh, out of here. Why is it still rotated? See if I want to scale it up at all. Just make it that much more impactful. The whole point of rotating something is to, or as they say, going Dutch, make it more. When stuff feels like it's falling out of the frame, it becomes more intense. That'll look cool. Once I get the nice little dust in there, add a little more motion. It'll be tasty. So because I did the two for on the bottom, I'll do the two for. Oh. Let's see what that looks like. What else do I want here? These layouts that I liked. It was like the stronger stuff. I feel like this one was a strong shot. So we'll do that. Put that one in the two for setting. And that one was also in the rejects. That's a final. Let's see here. That one. This one. Open that one up, and we can just compare the two. See which one is got more swagger. Jokes. It's just a crop on this one. This is going to be a better tuber shot for sure. All right. Design. Go here. Instagram stories. Instagrams. Post. Save this. So my goal is to start posting this stuff. Hopefully Tuesday. I don't post on Monday and Friday because who cares about Monday, Friday? People are busy doing stuff and things. Don't want that to happen. This is looking good. I'll probably put rotations on everything here. Get the crap out of this stuff. There's a little bit of this. There's a little tension with this, with the other shot. I make it smaller. I like that. See what we put here. Sorry, it's my Rubik's Cube. That's how dorky I am. Okay, we'll go to the shots here. That was more of a detail. I'm trying to figure out what was super jelly. What was sexy? Yeah, I need to have more of that. You know, this is actually a pretty cool detail too. That's 2384. Then I got a lot of front end stuff here. Figure out where my priorities are at. I feel like these ones have to be related to that scene in order to make that super duper sexy. What do we got here? Check our rejects. 5126. Let's check Brett Bridge here. I'm good. At set. How you doing? Having a good old party up in here. Photoshop party, InDesign party, party. You know, this shot. Here I am in the front again. We're gonna find there's this rear shot, which is kind of nice. Let's see if that fits in there. Go back. So that concludes our fun little escapade here. Fortunately, I get to go the duties of a father. Fortunately, I have a newborn who's 2 weeks old, 3 weeks, and that's quite a thing. So I apologize for keeping you waiting. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll be back tomorrow, absolutely. Probably after 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, West Coast time. So hope to see you again. Thanks for coming by, and I'll